We are live.
We
We are live.
It's that late night streaming. Is that what we're doing these
Yes,
days?
sir. 100x leveraging into Dogecoin. Fuck it,
Oh,
bro. It's going
you know
straight
what?
to the
That's
moon.
look, man. All these different strategies and all these different dollar cost average and try to do this and try to do that and pick a. Just put in Dogecoin, man.
It's all
We could have just
about.
bought all of it, everything into Dogecoin and
You know
just
what's
called it a
funny?
day.
Dogecoin a year ago probably would have been like the best investment of this bull cycle. How crazy is that?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm just sharing this to the Discord. We are going live. Time to
Is there any
cry.
people in the live stream right now? Is there anybody
I haven't checked.
listening, looking? Let's just see, man. Wow, we got 1,000 people already.
A
That's
thousand
crazy.
people.
Thank you guys.
Welcome. Do
No,
you
we actually like
guys
25.
Do you guys reckon we have to wait 3 to 4 years for a new run all-time highs? Well, Extreme Critic, we will attempt to answer that. It's a bit of a complex question, so give us a second to kind of formulate our thoughts. But first off, I'd like to mention, man, like me and you, we're pretty confident in like our understanding of the market, and sometimes we joke around with each other like, oh, panic sell, panic buy, oh, bear
Right.
market, bull market. But a lot of people aren't as confident in their or maybe still don't know what's going on. And
Right.
for me, just to tell you what I reckon this, which is, guys, we're forming a very macro head and shoulders. And for me, what I've been saying on this channel last I feel like weeks at this point, is that what it would take for me to start to say that it's feeling like a bear market is a lower low below 30,000. Because as long as we remain above 30,000, we
My
would have put in
goodness.
we would have.
My bad. My bad.
Okay, okay.
My bad, people.
Okay. We would have put it in higher lows. So, for me, if we drop below 30,000 again, that starts to look more like a bear market. As
Right.
long as we hold above 30,000, there is some semblance of some hope. But not gonna lie, short-term price structure looks bearish as shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Very no bueno. Any thoughts there, man?
So
What do you
so
reckon?
so so what do you reckon here then?
I just said what I reckon. What do you reckon? You haven't reckoned yet.
I haven't reckoned yet at all. That's for sure. Did you share this to Twitter, by the way? Just
I
no,
have
yeah.
not. I have not.
All right. No, I just do it,
Are,
man.
are you trying to get
Just
out of reckoning, or
No, no, I'm
while
not. No,
you
no,
reckon,
because
I
I'm
can
about
share to
to
Twitter?
I'm about to really give it. I'm gonna give extreme critique with a dash up top,
Okay,
and the business
I'll
basically
I'll
the
go to
business
your
business.
screen.
Yeah, yes, please, if you don't mind.
Yeah, and you go ahead and reckon. I'll shoot a live stream.
I'm about to just go in, and my internet is a bit kind of finicky, but this is what I think right now, man. Overall, right, the stream is nothing to reckon with. Hey, that's what it is. Overall, are you still here? By the way, can you hear me?
Well, hello.
Yeah, man, just say something.
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm letting you speak.
Fucking I love it. But yeah, for the most part, in my opinion, yeah, the 30K, I expect more resistance, obviously, at the 30K than us sticking in this. Trading views giving me some sort of a hard time right
Yeah,
now, so
what
I'm just gonna
happened
reload it.
to your nice chart, man? You had
I
this
don't know,
nice
man.
purple
I don't know
chart.
why everything. I'm telling you, I've been always getting targeted ever since I went to France to just really get the details.
They're
What's going
after
on with
you,
the
man. Damn.
I think so. Yeah, this is just not loading, man. I
Okay.
guess not.
Well,
I
while
guess forget the reckoning.
okay, well, while your stuff reckons, maybe we can go back to my screen here.
Let's
And
go.
so, guys, we had something pretty significant happen, which is we had a daily candle close for Bitcoin. And this daily candle is actually looking pretty well because this daily candle closed above 33,300. 33,300 is a very significant level. We had a previous wick, a previous higher low right there that we closed above, so that was a good sign. Although we're currently below it, which is very bad news bears as well. If we go over to the weekly, 33,300, extremely important. 1, 2, 3, 4 weekly candles reacting off 33,300. Even if we go to the monthly, 2 monthly candles reacting off 33,300. So this is actually very, very bearish. We need to get above 33,300 to start looking more bullish again. Because again, we have monthly candles reacting there, weekly and daily candles, and we're currently below it. So hopefully we put in a higher low here. Because if we don't, very bad news bears. We could definitely see more downside potential. If we if we don't put in a higher high pretty soon here, we could probably retest 30K in my opinion.
I swear to God, if TradingView does not open, man, I'm about to lose my. I'm about to just go off. You know what? Let me just request control off your screen here.
Okay,
and
okay.
Let's go from there.
Go ahead. I guess so. I guess you just love my charts so much you wanted to mess around with my charts.
I definitely don't. Let's get that clear. Let's just put that out there.
No, I understand. I just have great charts. It's fine. It's fine.
That's true. That is true.
You have my permission to proceed.
Perfect. So that's what we got, right? Overall, if we're looking, forget about what Bitcoin is doing, and in general, just looking at a pattern like this, because we know ever since for the past couple of weeks, we've been talking about things outside of the chart that are causing the chart to move the way it is moving, right? And it's been crazy downtrending ever since. And we're talking about what could be like a possible support level. Now, when we're somewhere here, it's hard to say, is it going to be the 35? Is it going to be 36? Is it going to be the 30, whatever, 4 when we're midway through the 30s? In my opinion, obviously the first thing that we got to take a look at when we drop from a pattern such as this one over here is the fact that that if we identify what the higher lows that we formed before. So somewhere here we have something at the, what do we have, 33,300. Exactly. Somewhere here is 31,180, and all the way down here is at the 30K. And you can see here how, just touching the 30K region really triggered a lot of buy orders, I guess.
Yeah.
That actually pushes back upwards within no time here. So I'm more confident saying that yes, there's obviously more stronger support when we get to the 30K. I would be surprised if the 30K was just that we just slipped through and continue to fall down.
Yeah,
I think more buyers will step in at the 30K. Obviously, we've been talking about this. We've been very clear about it, saying this is a bearish pattern, and majority of the traders would be looking for a breakout below. But we're thinking about, what, the space is fundamentally, never sounded any better. Just blockchain technology has been improving, DeFi and everything. Is that going to affect this? Has this been enough of a downtrend for Bitcoin? Is that going to play a factor? When we got here, we had a bit of a fake out. Everybody thought that, we might be breaking up right now. Turned out that it's a fake out. And then the pattern played out the way the pattern is supposed to play out from a technical standpoint. So that's what I'm leaning towards right now. Yeah. As we go down yesterday, if you were watching the stream, as soon as we had the breakout here, we went live. We were telling the people, just brace yourself. Brace yourself.
We were wiping our tears.
This is going to be a heavy drop. And overall, on the daily, right? On the daily, the volume wasn't that crazy as much as you think it is. But yes, we got to acknowledge the fact that it is above average, and it is a volume that overall at a breakout, it's not the same volume you'd see. It's a lot more exaggerated usually at a breakout like this. But yesterday's candle closed with some sort of accumulation that's happening. So in my opinion, I'm still, we can easily fall back down to the lower levels. We can easily pierce through the 30K, but I'm more confident saying that I expect more support than this over here at the 30K. So yeah, anything below the 30K where it just starts to really push through and all that, in my opinion, that would be really, really, really scary for the whole market. I think because a lot of people actually got into the space at the 20K breakout, in my opinion. And as we start moving, if you remember, at the end of last year, the last like 3 months, we're heading towards the 20K. People are accumulating. We broke above the 20K. The news started to come out, leading to the 30K, 25K, 30K. Everyone's going crazy over Bitcoin, and the actual news started to come out that, hey, Bitcoin is just killing it somewhere closer to those ranges from the 25 to the 30, 35. So this is for me, right? If I'm looking at, I'm some sort of investor, if I'm MicroStrategy, we all know if, what is it here? I actually have it open. MicroStrategy's total average buy. So yeah, they have 92,000 Bitcoins as of mid-May, right? Which says it's they acquired for 2.2 billion, and the average buy-in is at the 24K. So we're reaching areas where a lot of people and a lot of institutions actually entered the market. So we got to keep that in mind. The closer we get to those lower levels, the closer we get to the 30, 25K, a lot of the market entered at those. And that's why, a lot of people were holding and whatever the case might be. But as soon as we start getting to those prices and a lot of those institutions are actually more and more into the negative, that's scary, in my opinion, because that's going to trigger more and more, selling from those big guys that enter at the right time. So when you're looking at a loss, it's been like you've been in the market for 6-7 months and you have billions in, and the price is actually dropping and it keeps getting to your entry level. And we're thinking about investors that are trying to, the whole market is going down and the economy is going down. That's when it actually gets really scary.
Yeah.
And so we need to maintain the 30K at least, in my opinion.
Yeah, guys, and look, there's a lot to talk about here, a lot of important stuff, and I do believe we are at an inflection point, make it or break it time for Bitcoin. I'll kind of show you guys why this right now, what's going to happen this week, is so incredibly significant for Bitcoin because of this pattern. So Bitcoin is forming a macro head and shoulders pattern. All right. And while we can draw our neckline several different ways, our neckline is basically the base of our kind of shoulders here. While you can draw this several different ways, ultimately lower lows means the same thing. The more lower lows we make, the more likely it is that Bitcoin keeps trending downward. And so, guys, I've actually begrudgingly started to follow my own advice, and I've begun to move a small portion of my portfolio into stablecoins, because while I do think Bitcoin's very overextended on the downside, and I do think this is probably a bottom, we are getting lower lows, which is confirmation of the bearish trend. The short-term trend is bearish, and we still have not seen convincing signs of bullish divergence. And so because we have recently gotten lower lows below 30,000, 33,000, and that makes it makes it more likely that we could continue to trend downwards. I've started to move into stable coins, and so kind of the way I'm approaching the market, bull market or bear market, at this point, I'm still not confident enough to call that we're entering a bear market, several 3-4 year long bear market. But each lower low we makes it more likely that we keep trending downwards, and so each lower low Bitcoin makes, I'll move more and more of my portfolio into stable coins. I do this very begrudgingly. I would honestly love to be buying the dip, but I want to follow my own advice and,
I'll hold your hand
practice
while
some
you're
risk
doing it,
management.
I'm ready to hold your hand while you do it.
Yeah, and look, I see some people here saying we're going below 30K. We might, and if we do, again, just more of my portfolio into stable coins to eventually buy back into the market on bullish breakouts and bullish retests. So I see, a lot of stuff here. So it says, Calabasas here says, I reckon to watch you guys every day. That's awesome. Thank you very much for your support. Christopher says, this is just the beginning of the bull market, guys. Don't worry. Yeah, and it may very well be. And I have been buying the dip. But unfortunately, guys, the reason why I feel forced to practice a bit of risk management is because if we do break down from this head and shoulders, the price target for this head and shoulders is literally, it's like bottomless. It's like 500 for Bitcoin or something, or like negative 5,000. You can draw this like different ways. So because if we make a lower low below 30,000, the downside potential is so great. Even though I believe in this market long term, the price action would just look so bearish that at that point, I think it makes some sense to move into stable coins to be able to buy the dip later on. Also, man, I don't mean to rant too much here, but just bring it back to you.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
It does not make sense for us to just move in a straight line down forever. If we can just quickly examine 2017, even when we were entering the bear market, we never just went down forever. We always had substantial relief rallies. Like if we measure this, we went down, let's see, we corrected 44%, and then we impulsed up 50%, and then 56%. Massive move down where we corrected 65%, and then we impulsed up 94%. Even in a bear market, we never just go down in a straight line forever. And so what have we seen here in the short term? We're just going down in a straight line. We have had no significant relief rally. So even if we are entering a bear market, I do think it makes a lot of sense to, in the near future, have a relief rally. If we get it, to what extent it'll move, we don't know. But I do think it makes sense for us to have a relief rally. How about you, man?
Look, man, I think that's what the whole market is actually thinking about as well, because there's a lot of analysis that's, I guess, being done, and there's, the market's polarized between two, I guess, opinions or two. By the way, my chart now is perfect.
Okay, go to your screen.
If you want to switch to your boys' chart here, but even yesterday we shared on live stream Plan B. If you guys don't know who Plan B is, it's not the Plan B. It's just he's a chartist, and he just takes a look at them, on-chain indicators and whatever they say, and just the movement of Bitcoin in general. A lot of those drops that happened during the May 19th specifically here happened during illiquid hours. So with you saying it looks like it's been just straight lining down, it just continues to dump with all the negative news and all that. There's a lot of people that are actually saying as well, and that's, don't take that for granted, guys. At the end of the day, anything could be possible here. We like discussing it. It's just like you, it's just like you, I guess, discussing sports. It's not going to do anything for the market, but we just discuss it for the hell of it in different theories. So, huge sums of Bitcoins actually dumped into the market during illiquid hours. And illiquid hours mean overall, if you don't know what that, how that could affect, because let's say I don't know, right now, how much Bitcoin does it take for us to drop, let's say, from 39,000 all the way to 30, or from 40 to 30? So that's the thing. If you have a lot of liquidity, right? If you have a lot of liquidity, then it would take you 10 million, let's say $10 million worth of Bitcoin to actually drop. But if there's illiquid markets, there's not a lot of liquidity, it might take you only maybe $4 million worth of Bitcoin to actually move the market. So there's a lot of talks and analysis out there. We can leave all these links for you guys. If you join our Discord, we post all of that. They're good reads for you to keep your eye on the market, and just different views that I think is beneficial for you to understand. But a lot of that Bitcoin, specifically on May 19th, this happened during illiquid hours, meaning that which is sometimes a sign of corporate and institutional manipulation of the price action to actually buy back at lower prices. And why? Because during illiquid hours, it takes less for you to drive the market down, the price down, as opposed to when there's a lot of liquidity. So that, coupled with the fact that all this crackdowns happening in China, miners as well, that affected the market hugely, a lot more than what in my opinion, man, a quick tweet from Elon is probably 1% of what a crackdown in China on miners can actually do to the market. And it started off with a huge outage on April 18th, just caused the hash rate to drop heavily, and caused a lot of negative news out there. So all of these different factors are definitely adding to the price action. And that's what we're trying to say here, guys. It's not just, I see someone saying you don't need all these charts to know that you're going below 30K. In my opinion, for the retail investor or for the retail trader, it does matter, because it does actually
It 100% matters. It's the only thing that matters. Of course,
for if you're a big institution, what's his name? David, wherever your name is. If you're an institution, then you don't probably care that much right now, but you care about, bigger, much more significant things like on-chain metrics, and if the market is liquid or no. But overall, man, that's what it is. So there's been a lot going on in the market, guys, in the stock market as well, the Nasdaq, and there's a lot going on now. But with all this adoption that came into effect, and Goldman Sachs being involved, MicroStrategy being involved, it's much bigger game than just obviously the price action. But the price action signals to the market that, look, maybe now, hey, MicroStrategy, if we drop below the 30K, maybe it's a good time for you to actually buy in. So this is just a signal to what might come in. So obviously it's not the chart. Sorry, I'm ranting, but obviously it's not the chart only, but there's a lot more happening that makes you believe that this price action is actually manipulated. So
no,
I'm a conspiracy theorist.
No, but it's not even a conspiracy though. Coordinated FUD has always been a thing in legacy markets, especially in cryptocurrency. And look, the price action in the chart is everything. It's one of the only things that matters, especially when you're discussing the short term. Yeah, long term fundamentals drive the market long term, but in the short term, price action is everything. And price action will tell you what's more and less likely. So a lot of people, I see a lot of people in the comments saying we're going to 25K, or we're going to 20K, or we're going below 30. And while that may very well happen, it's totally possible, especially since the short term price action is especially bearish. We had a bearish breakout, bearish retest, the price action is bearish, and we could go below 30,000, but we've put in a higher low. And so as long as we keep putting in these higher lows, there's still some hope that we could have a relief rally here. And look, man, maybe just start mentioning some very important news going on here. I have a few things pulled up. So number one, the market is ultra fearful right now. The market is at a 13. I think we went down all the way to 10. The last time the market was this fearful was when the global pandemic first hit and the bottom of the bear market. And so, guys, these fear and greed indicators are especially relevant when it comes to cryptocurrency, because crypto is driven by fear and greed and speculation. And historically speaking, I mean, whenever we've been this low, it's coordinated. It's coordinated with local bottoms. And so while we could dump further, I do think there's some reasons to think that a relief rally in the near future, very realistic. Although we're not seeing signs of it quite just yet. The market is quite bearish, but and I want to mention something pretty significant here, pretty interesting, which is we've actually seen Bitcoin being bought up and Bitcoin leaving exchanges, and this is very interesting.
I actually didn't even get into it. Can you actually go in depth, please?
Yeah, yes, sir. I will definitely. So, guys, look, Bitcoin held on exchanges. All right, all throughout this cycle's bull market, Bitcoin has been steadily leaving exchanges, which is a good thing because the less Bitcoin on exchanges, the less potential selling pressure, less supply, increasing demand, increasing price. But while the market was getting spooked, Bitcoin was entering exchanges. But as of recently, we've been seeing a lot of Bitcoin leaving. And if we go over here to this tweet here by Lex Morskowski, he tells us how 22,550 Bitcoin the other day was withdrawn from exchanges, the biggest net outflow of the year. So we are seeing institutions and big money players buying the dip, or at least moving their Bitcoin off exchanges. So this is something very interesting to look at here. And there's a lot of news stories. Maybe we can start getting into some of those. But something I'd want to mention real quick here is the stock to flow model.
Oh, okay.
What were you going to say?
No, never mind. I was going to say a very stupid joke. Go ahead.
What was the joke?
I was just going to say there's like some big news with Lady Gaga right now.
Lady Gaga, no, not that. The big news is stock to flow. Guys, stock to flow has historically done a pretty good job of calling price targets in the trajectory of Bitcoin over the years. We sometimes underperform, sometimes we overperform the stock to flow. Stock to flow predicts Bitcoin over 100,000 this year, and again, we often outperform. And if we go to Plan B himself, the famous person who put out the stock to flow model, we can see here that we're kind of in our lower support bands of the stock to flow model. And the last time we were at our lower support band was the bottom of the market and when COVID first hit. So guys, look, price action is screaming bearish. We could be entering a bear market. We could fall below 30K, but so far we've still put in higher lows, and there is reason to think that Bitcoin over the long term does have a good chance of putting in new all-time highs. And again, just something I want to hammer home to kind of wrap up with this point is we gotta have a long-term mindset when it comes to crypto. If we try and examine who were the people who succeeded in cryptocurrency, it was the people who bought the dip and held it forever. We all understand cryptocurrency is extremely volatile. If you have a week-long, month-long investment horizon, it is incredibly difficult to time the market because we have 30, 40, 50% swings with large cryptos all the time. But the people who held the longest and bought the dip for most and held it forever are the people who succeeded the most in crypto. We need to understand what it takes to succeed in this market. And to succeed in this market, we need to have a long-term mindset. Yes, we're very volatile, but over the long term, we've done nothing but go up over the years. And the people who had the most long term mindset were the people who've been the most successful in cryptocurrency. So just understand that, folks, we're playing a long term game here. It's a marathon, not a race. So understand the game you're playing, and if you have a long term mindset, again, that's historically what it's taking to succeed in this space.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
man.
don't know if you have anything to add there. There's a couple of news stories we can get into here. Keith
100%,
Covey
man.
in the comments says, "Get rich quick." See, guys, cryptocurrency is definitely not a get rich quick scheme. Cryptocurrency is a get rich after half a decade scheme.
Yeah.
So
And that's the
you
that's
got to
the
keep in
that's the
mind.
biggest idea is being, like overall sold online. That, yeah, a lot of the people, there's a bunch of surveys out there. It's like one out of four investors in Bitcoin, or just in the crypto market in general, know actually what they're invested in and what crypto is all about, as a space, like as technology, right? And
Yeah,
that's what it is, man. It was just, I think a lot of the market is just looking like, oh, I'm looking for the next 10x, 100x, or whatever, and rightfully so. You want to beat the market before it blows up 100%, but that can only sustain you for such a long time. Overall, once you know what you're invested in, you're going to have a much better time, or easier time holding for the next 2, 3, 4 years during whatever dip, knowing that, what, yeah, I actually believe in this. I believe in Ethereum. I believe in DeFi. I believe in, I see someone here in the comments talking about BTT and BitTorrent, a lot of I believe in file sharing, decentralized file sharing. And at one point, a lot of the censorship as well that happens online, a lot of people are talking about, yeah, moving to these, storing those videos, or like having like I don't want to, like, I don't want to bite the hand, I get I guess that feeds us, but whatever kind of sense is, blockchain even helps with censorship and actually has something that can help people actually voice their opinions. So the use case, you got to know what kind of use case you're excited about. And yeah, that's going to make it's easier on us to hold for such a long time, because I understand, you understand what you're in, and I love it, and I keep up with it because, and I don't care about these dips, not because, I'm putting my money in and I'm so patriotic about crypto. No, I just know what I'm invested in, and I know it's a volatile market. And yeah, man, I think Kevin O'Leary actually, if you guys, just go check him out. He had a couple podcasts. He was a guest, a speaker on a couple podcasts recently, and he really explains to you, a lot of these different DeFi projects that are coming up, and how he's heavily involved in it, and just giving an idea of what like how you should be looking at crypto the proper way. So it's kind of off topic, but it just gives you some sort of advice. But man, I don't know if you have talking about DeFi. I don't know if you heard about Amazon.
Amazon, no, and DeFi,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I'm just looking. I'm
Educate
literally
me.
on Amazon. Yeah, with every, we just lost all of our money, all of our billions in crypto, and I'm looking for jobs right now. And guess what? Amazon is hiring crypto jobs. They're
Perfect.
literally looking at, literally right now. They're putting us, so the news are kind of like circulating right now, but they're actually looking for some I guess, like the engineers or whatever, blockchain developers. And are you passionate about blockchain and decentralized networks and their potential? Do you want to define the future direction for how Amazon Web Services will enable consumers, blah, blah, blah? They rolled out an Amazon managed blockchain, AMB, fully managed service that accelerates customers' ability to create and leverage scalable blockchain technology. And yeah, they want, ideally you having some sort of DeFi experience now. What does that tell us, right? In terms of adoption, in terms of these big corporations understanding that, we have an old monetary system that's so centralized, and these big corporations have been all about innovation and have been all about efficiency. And go and look at Amazon, right now, with the way their whole robotic system and in their warehouses. And even at one point I heard, this is getting too deep into it, but them even talking about with VeChain being integrated in some of those systems as well. But it's not really out there that much, so it's like, don't take that for granted. But that's what I'm saying, man. These big institutions understand the efficiency of a blockchain technology. And we saw Amazon, we saw at one point, I don't know if you remember, was it which one was it? JP Morgan, and there was some other big institutions that are actually starting to dabble in the technology. So we need to know what's next in the crypto space besides Bitcoin. And we need to start looking at certain things that are actually going to have some sort of a use case as this thing blows up. So back to your point, yeah, man, that's what it is. You got to hold for a long. It's not just a quick money making scheme that people should be thinking about like that.
No, no, and again, who are the people who made money? People who fumbled into a bull run and then panic sold the first dip. I mean, look, if you got to like me, practice a bit of risk management, that's one thing. But the people who succeeded the most in crypto are people who bought good projects when nobody wanted to touch them, when they were crashing the most, and held them forever. Could you imagine if you bought Ethereum at $100, $200, the bottom of one of the previous bear markets, and you just held it for years and years and years and years? You'd be laughing at this correction. It wouldn't matter at all, right? So we got to have a long-term mindset in this market, and so maybe we can start addressing some of these some of the news stories
Let's do it.
with Bitcoin. There's been a lot of FUD surrounding Bitcoin that maybe we can start to address. But just I wanted to maybe provide, before we get to some of that stuff, a bit of a different perspective. I saw an interesting chart on Twitter that I think may potentially be relevant here, because again, the thing is, we do move in cycles, and history never repeats, but it rhymes. We do similar things here, and so by this tweet here by Kevin Svinsson illustrates something pretty interesting, which is, if we look at the previous cycle, back in the 2016 halving, 371 days after the previous halving, it had a large substantial correction, which 373 days after the latest one, 2020, we're now having a substantial correction. So again, history never repeats, but it rhymes. And so, is this signaling this is probably the bottom? Maybe, but who knows? The price action right now is currently bearish, but I just want to provide you guys a bit of a different perspective, because again, yes, the short-term technicals are screaming bearish, but the long-term stuff, the fundamentals, the cycle indicators never look better, and all give Bitcoin more room to the upside. So I think I wanted to say something else, but I honestly forget. So
I think whatever you have for news stories, maybe.
yeah. Start looking at some news. Yeah, if you're good.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay, so one thing I wanted to address right off the bat, and feel free to jump in at any point here, man, which is there was recently a ton of FUD behind Bitcoin all at once, almost like it was coordinated. So one of those big FUD news stories was the fact that the FBI seized a bunch of Bitcoin that hackers that hacked, what was it, an oil rig, like a pipeline. They hacked a pipeline, held it ransom. They asked for Bitcoin. They got their Bitcoin, and so the FBI hacked where they were storing their Bitcoin and got it back. So the FBI was saying it, and the way this was being framed in a bunch of news stories is that the FBI hacked Bitcoin, like they hacked the blockchain, they hacked the ledger. No.
As in, like, they figured out the addresses, and Bitcoin is not as not as secure as everyone thinks it is.
Exactly. No, they got access to the custodial service that was holding onto their Bitcoin. They didn't hack the blockchain. So we just, I know, there's a couple hundred people watching here, but you guys need to be aware that the FBI did not hack Bitcoin. They got access to the custodial service that these dumbass hackers were storing their Bitcoin on. Which, by the way, man, this is super fishy. Like, why would you store your Bitcoin on a custodial service? Like,
I have no clue.
It all screams very fishy to me, and it all screams like the government trying to, or at least elements of the government, the American government, trying to FUD Bitcoin on purpose. But just all I want to say with this is understand Bitcoin did not get hacked.
Yeah.
Damn. If you have anything to add there.
Yeah, I guess no. I think it's still developing. We've been trying to understand what's going on, but I guess maybe we give it like some time to unwrap and see what actually happened. Because at one point I heard like they retrieved it from was it you who told me, or it's like something with Coinbase, and someone debunked the myth that Coinbase was involved with retrieving the information. But yeah, it's too much negative news out there, man. Too much negative news.
Yeah, well, look, there's a bunch of news all going every which way, and you're never going to be super clear because everyone's going to have counterpoints. But at the end of the day here, I just want to make it pretty clear that, from my understanding, it's pretty clear that Bitcoin was not hacked. All that happened is that the FBI got a hold of the custodial service that was holding their Bitcoin, the hackers' Bitcoin. So just wanted to
Someone
spill a
just
bit of
said
fun.
someone just said seems odd they can hack a pipeline but not know how to store Bitcoin.
Exactly, it's
Which is
extremely odd. Yeah,
that's actually a good point, Mike.
like these are
James, I mean.
these people are genius enough to not only hack a pipeline, but successfully hold a pipeline as ransom. And then what? Like this is so silly. Like I could do a better job of laundering your Bitcoin. Just move it into a bunch of different exchanges, a bunch of different cryptocurrencies. Move it into Monero, into like Thor. I don't know if it's Thorchain, but there's this one protocol that mixes your Bitcoin, randomizes it, and then there's another privacy one, Monero.
The launder Bitcoin or
Anyway,
whatever.
yeah, well, there's
Yeah.
ways to do it. You just basically move it enough where it you can't really track it very easily. Although there are
Yeah.
companies that do track. I'm not I'm not saying
Hey, what
I don't
have
want to
you
give
been up
advice
to,
here,
man?
but
What have you been up to, huh?
bottom line here is it's very very weird that sophisticated hackers that successfully hacked and ransomed a pipeline in a very public level stored their Bitcoin in the stupidest way. It's almost like they didn't want to move it, couldn't move it, or it screams fishy. It screams to me like the government coordinating a FUD campaign against Bitcoin, which is nothing new. Especially while we're seeing South American countries start to adopt Bitcoin, and elements of the government are seeing that the dollar is losing strength. Because to them, to the American government, that's an attack. Whenever a South American country is trying to seize a bit of control for themselves and get a slice of the success, the financial success the West has had, the American government sees it as an attack. So for me, it makes a lot of sense that while South American countries are talking about adopting Bitcoin, the American government is going to start to spread a lot of FUD about it. It makes sense.
I agree, man.
Yeah.
I agree. No, I agree. It's definitely an attack on, and I think this comment here is gonna rile you up. So I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna bring it up. But someone's saying here, Bitcoin is a scam. Bitcoin is not backed by anything, and a bunch of people are going back and forth in the comments, telling him, well, the dollar is not backed by anything. So what are you saying, Boomer? And yeah, man, I guess
Nothing's real. Nothing's real. Everything's made up. Everything is bullshit.
I told you guys it's gonna rile them up.
Everything is just power and influence. Nothing's real. You think the dollar's not real? The dollar's a thing and powerful because the United States has the biggest army and the most amount of pointy guns. That's why the Americans are powerful. What is real? Real. Everything's ridiculous. Every financial product out there is ridiculous. Leverage, derivatives, and nobody knows what these things do. Everything's fake and made up. The way things go is because moneyed interests want them to exist. And there's good moneyed interest behind Bitcoin in the sense of there's moneyed interest in the success and longevity of Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin will likely succeed in what it's looking to achieve because it's in people's financial interest for Bitcoin to succeed, and so that's why things keep going. Not because things are real, everything's bullshit. No, because there's financial interest in things succeeding. The American government has a financial interest in the dollar succeeding. Bitcoin holders and people who have not benefited from the current financial system have a financial interest in Bitcoin succeeding. So it's all competing interests, and that's why things succeed. And so that's why I think Bitcoin will succeed, not because it's real. Sure, it's ethereal. It's just code running on a computer, but so is everything. Everything's bullshit.
Damn, that's the hot take for the live stream, guys. Thank you for getting this guy angry. It's literally
I'm not angry.
almost 11 o'clock.
I'm not angry.
Upset, riled up.
I'm not upset. I'm riled up. I'm not upset.
I love it, man. I love it. Governments don't want people to be wealthy. I'm just reading some of the comments here. It's all in your hands if it's real. Withdrawing that money is hard. They probably left it because they pissed off the U.S. government and they got scared. Sounds coordinated. It definitely sounds it, man. But what else do we have here? Today,
we have a bunch more.
White House advisor owns between 1 million and 5 million in Bitcoin. Right. That's kind of funny. Bitcoin is the largest holding in Tim Wu's financial portfolio, representing 25% to 43% of his assets. Once a critic of big tech platforms, Wu predicted in 2017 that Bitcoin would crash again, but that the currency feels tested. A lot of buzzwords. Doesn't matter. But he got 1 million to 5 million Bitcoins. Pretty, it doesn't really matter. Just some sort of fun fact. I guess so. What else we got there, man? Some stuff out there today that's kind of positive. Paraguay, I didn't really read much about it. I don't know if you know much about it. If you want to get into it and can talk about it, but looks like some El Salvador started first. Yeah, it's a legal tender, and then something Paraguay now is following suit. A Paraguay politician promises big Bitcoin announcement. Now, is it a good big Bitcoin announcement or is it a bad one? We don't know, but we want to see. Again, we'll leave all these links in the comments for you guys if you want to check it out. But what do you know, man? What do you got right
Well,
now?
man, look, we're seeing a lot of announcements of announcements, and a lot of people, a lot of countries, a lot of South American politicians talking about introducing Bitcoin, which is great, and adopting Bitcoin, which is, by the way, this is like some of the biggest news stories in crypto's history. Countries, leaders of countries, whatever you think of them or not, I'm not endorsing any of these politicians. What I am acknowledging is the significance of these South American politicians talking about adopting Bitcoin. And look, man, if we can just also briefly go back to the White House advisor who owns Bitcoin, I just want to mention real quick. So maybe if you don't have it on your screen, I can pull it up.
Let's
on,
go. Yeah, let's
on
pull it
my
up on your
end. Do you want to? Because if you have it ready, do you want to just go back to yours?
Sure, yeah, I have it open. We can
Okay.
just probably read through it if that's the case. But
No, but I just wanted to say, if we could just go
huh.
back to the story is all.
Yeah,
Are we
let's
there?
go, man. Let's pull it up, man.
Okay,
So
okay.
this whole thing is not scripted.
No, I know,
It's
but
going
it
off the
just
top right now.
okay. All right. So, but all I wanted to say with this is the reason why Bitcoin will succeed, because it's in people's financial interest for Bitcoin to succeed. Once the rich, the powerful, the influential start holding Bitcoin, Bitcoin will steadily, gain more adoption. They'll steadily influence the legislators and start to pass beneficial regulation. Because look, if nobody rich, if nobody influential owned any Bitcoin, then countries wouldn't pass regulations that were favorable to crypto and Bitcoin. But now we're seeing, investment funds, individual rich people, politicians, influential people start to own Bitcoin. And it's because of this that eventually that will have an influence on regulators, and eventually we will get sensible regulation that helps the further adoption of Bitcoin. So why will Bitcoin succeed? It's because it's in people's financial interest for Bitcoin to succeed. So yeah, the short term looks shit, obviously, but the long term never looked better. So that's all I want to say with that. Thank you for bringing it back there.
No worries, man. No worries. I think there's something interesting here in the comments, man. Buffo on the boat with a $10 donation. Thank you. He's saying very interesting offer for $10. Would you two be down to tag team box versus BitBoy and TJ in the first ever annual crypto YouTubers boxing extravaganza for charity?
For charity?
Stream it live. Yeah, stream it live here on YouTube and let us fans bet crypto on it. I am ready to knock anybody out
Bro, how
for charity.
hilarious would that be?
Imagine
Look,
BitBoy is knocked out.
Bitboy versus us. Who's TJ though? Who's TJ?
I don't even know. I think TJ is the guy that.
Oh, this the CEO
Yeah,
of
he's the
Bitboy
Jamie.
company.
Oh, I thought he's like the Jamie, like the Joe Rogan Jamie. Whoever like does the background podcast and controls it. Isn't that
Yeah.
who TJ is?
No, but he's the CEO. Bitboy is only the host of the channel. Like he's the host of the Bitboy Crypto like YouTube channel, but TJ is like the CEO of their company.
I see. So Buff on the beat, set it up, and I'm ready.
Yeah,
We're ready.
if it's for charity, sure. How hilarious would that be? They're a lot
Just
older
knock
than us,
him the
though.
hell
I don't
out.
know if that would be fair.
I don't even know.
You know,
Man.
they're
I
older.
don't even know.
Yeah.
But yeah, Buffalo on the
Maybe
beat,
we
man.
do
Thank
arm
you.
wrestling instead. That would maybe be better
That's
for
cool. Or
for
slap. But what is it called? It's like a whole sport, just slapping, slap
You just
box.
don't want
Is
to
that
get
what it
hit
is?
in the head, man. That's the only thing. You don't want to get hit in the head. Getting hit in the head.
That's what it is. For $10, man, I'm doing it.
But yeah, no, appreciate the suggestion. Very funny suggestion. We'll reach out to his people, see if he's down.
Let's see.
We'll see.
So yeah, man, that's true. Mexico lawmakers aiming to follow the example of neighboring countries with proposed Bitcoin legislation. Now 3 countries are in the mix within less than 24 hours.
Yes, dude, this is a giant deal. Man, it's so funny what drives crypto. It's fear and greed, man. If the market weren't so goddamn fearful right now, and rightly so, price actually looks dog shit. But the fundamentals never look better, dude. We now have 3 countries talking about seriously adopting Bitcoin, this is the one of the biggest things in Bitcoin's history. For what is it, over a decade, Bitcoin has been ridiculed, called a scam, and now it's at the point where countries are thinking about adopting it as legal tender.
So what is Mexico saying? Was something looks like it
It's all
came out
just
three
rumors
hours
at this
ago?
point. Yeah, I think
I see.
either the president or a politician has laser eyes, and look, I think a lot of this is just politicians just jumping on a hype wave, trying to seem relevant,
I
trying to get some
see.
support. And so, look, we really need to see like legislation actually pass to be like more confident about this. At this point, it's you can promise something all live long day. You want to see legislation, you want to see actual adoption. So, but it's a
That's
good
true.
sign. It's a good sign. Things to come.
That's true. I agree, man.
Yeah.
Honestly, man, I've been, I know, like me and you talked about it a lot too, but I'm like, uh, we were thinking about which sector of the crypto market is gonna hold the crypto market on its back and carry it. And we talked about NFTs at one point. We also talked about DeFi at one point. So, what do you think here, man? I've been seeing a bunch of billionaires talking about DeFi because obviously the crypto space were I guess the sexiest thing out there, the sexiest use case. You got things like whatever's in the DeFi space, which is decentralized finance. There's decentralized file sharing. With not a lot of people are actually talking much about it right now. I'm excited about it. BTT, BitTorrent. I'm excited about that, but what do you think right now with NFTs and DeFi space in general, right? We're seeing the push happening, and Bitcoin's been going down while there's actually a bunch of good news out there. What are we gonna see with all that money trickling? What should we expect next? Let's say Bitcoin actually drops right now, or Bitcoin actually stays sideways for a bit, and we see something happen in the DeFi space, or I know we keep every now and then we bring it up, but I feel like it's actually good for the people to actually maybe, if you want to talk about this, see what do you think is
Yeah.
going to happen with NFTs right now or
Well,
DeFi in general?
guys, look, guys, listen. There's 330 people watching. If we're in crypto right now, we are in the right trade. We are on the right side of history. What's tricky, what's difficult to call, difficult to understand is the short-term price action. But over the long term, DeFi, NFTs are in their infancy. These protocols are just starting to be developed. The adoption is just starting. The legacy markets are just waking up to the fact that you can earn 8, 20, 50. I've seen 67% on stable coins. If you stake PancakeSwap on PancakeSwap, you can earn 67% on stable coins. Guys, once these legacy markets wake up and realize the opportunity in this space, there is going to be a flood of billions and trillions of dollars moving into the market. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. We're all in the right trade. We're all on the right side of history. What we don't know, what's tricky to understand, is the timing. The timing is what's hard. The market is super, super volatile. We all understand that. But over the long term, the longer someone is willing to wait in solid coins, because there's crap coins that might not ever bounce back, like Shiba or SafeMoon. These coins might not ever bounce back, but the solid DeFi plays, Aave, the solid NFT projects like I don't know, Engine or Flow. These are the kinds of cryptos that are likely to survive a bear market, come back whenever, and make new all-time highs in enterprise discovery once again. Because look, the adoption is just beginning. The use case has barely started. We all got to realize we are early. We are early. You got to have a long-term mindset when it comes to crypto, because the people who've succeeded and made billions and millions are the people who bought and held forever and didn't panic sell a dip. I mean, unless you kind of have to, like myself.
Yeah, man. No,
Yeah.
I think so. And that's the thing. Everybody, we've been all asking for adoption and gains and blah 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 and all that stuff. But again, we got to understand, for these major institutions to actually adopt, there's some sort of sustainability factor to a lot of these things. There's a bunch of this term, I guess, has been thrown around recently, from Elon to Kevin O'Leary, and just prominent people in the like in the business and the financial space, and even Mark Cuban at one point, just talking about the sustainable side, or the sustainable aspect of crypto in general. And that's what Bitcoin was kind of in the gray zone area, where how compliant is it to the to the current regulations and policies that are in the, at least in the US right now. We know what's happening in China. We know China's pushing their own digital currency, right? They like the technology, they don't like the coins. They like VeChain, they don't like the token. We want to use you guys, we want to use the team, we want to use the VeChain team, we want to use the whatever Bitcoin developer team, whatever the case might be. But look, we got our own terms too. We got our own interests, and then we don't want you to come in and overtake the dollar. We don't want you to come in and overtake the yuan. We don't want you to come in and take the euro. We want you to help the current currency. And I think at this point, that's what's happening. The use case. So we're getting to that adoption. Companies and big institutions are showing that interest, but there's a compliance, a sustainable aspect to this. And what is that, what crypto or Bitcoin as a product, what's the within its, like, I guess, model, how does it affect the environment, how sustainable is it, and how much, because all these big companies have their shareholders be involved in those big environmental committees. And same thing with Elon, and everybody's talking about it right now. They bought a bunch, and they got pressured after by shareholders. Tesla's the biggest push is the environment behind Tesla as a business model as well. Renewable energy used for actual day-to-day services and products we have in cars and whatever the case might be. So that's the first roadblock we're getting to, and it's obviously affecting the market. But once that gets resolved, once the lawmakers start passing certain bills, a couple of days ago, we had the Texas, what's his name? Not the mayor, Senate. It's not the Senate. Forgot his name. Abbott, his last name.
Yeah. Yep.
Anyways, yeah, passing a bill to have a legal framework to work with Bitcoin is just praising technology. So, you start off like that adoption, the retail, some sort of hype behind it. It gets to institutions, it gets to the mainstream, it dumps after. Why? Because the government can't beat it, so it has to join it and utilize it. Now you're seeing certain countries try to come in, other countries trying to have their own thing, and at one point, that's how the system is going to develop. So we're in that gray area, and we're on the edge of that regulatory edge where things are in the gray zone. But when enough lawmakers push for a legal framework, I think that's when things will actually blow up. That's when DeFi will blow up, once the scalability issues are actually out of the way, and enough laws out there and frameworks and guidelines to what we need to see as in this crypto space. Yeah, man, I think things are gonna go crazy for sure.
Yeah,
But
man.
it's just until then, it's not gonna be as fun. That's what we're saying.
Yeah, we're on the cusp of adoption, and adoption is messy. Regulation is going to be messy. There's going to be a bunch of FUD, and so we got to be prepared to go through some storms. But there's light at the end of this tunnel. And man, speaking in terms of mass adoption, I'm gonna go back to my screen. We have a big, massive development with DeFi and crypto, which is the Kusama parachains are ready to go live on Polkadot. This is a giant deal. Because the Polkadot ecosystem has essentially, up until this point, been waiting on the sidelines to basically flip the lights on, turn the engine on, to basically start working. Guys, parachains is what allows a project to be a Polkadot project. And if a project wants to be a Polkadot project, you either need to stake Polkadot and get a parachain through Polkadot, or stake Kusama and get a parachain through Kusama. And that parachain is what will give you that interoperability, scalability, and security within the Polkadot ecosystem, and will allow DeFi projects, NFT projects, all these different protocols to grow and have scalability and security. So this is a very, very big deal. So, folks, Kusama is the canary chain of the Polkadot ecosystem. It's where kind of all the improvements go first. Things happen to Kusama first, and then they go over to Polkadot. So Kusama is essentially a fork. It's kind of the same thing as Polkadot, except think of Kusama as kind of
like the gate, basically,
or like the prototype. Like imagine you're an engineer, you're building a car. Kusama is the prototype, and Polkadot is the end product coming off, the production line kind of thing. So, guys, the Kusama parachain auctions will last for 5 weeks, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what projects get in, and will begin on June 15th. And this is extremely, extremely bullish, not just for, adoption and use case of the Polkadot ecosystem, but guys, the way these parachain auctions work is that projects need to buy up a lot of Kusama and then lock them up for months, if not years. So on July 15th, we're going to have for 5 weeks straight a bunch of projects buying up hundreds of thousands, millions, maybe tens of millions worth of Kusama to lock it up for months, if not years. I'm not an economist, but can anyone theoretically guess what happens to price action if supply all of a sudden drops and demand all of a sudden spikes? Again, Bitcoin's leading this market. It's Bitcoin's market. If Bitcoin dumps, everything else will dump. With that being said, this is a massive, massive catalyst for the Polkadot ecosystem, for Kusama. It's going to be very interesting to see what projects actually get a parachain with Kusama.
Which projects are you excited about, man?
Oh, I mean, there's tons of them. One of my personal favorites is ChainX. ChainX is a bridge that allows you to get a wrapped version of Bitcoin and then use that in DeFi within the Polkadot ecosystem. So look, Polkadot's going for kind of like mass market interoperability with different protocols and building out a massive scalable DeFi system within itself. So if you have Bitcoin and you want to earn interest on your Bitcoin, once these parachain auctions start and there's a protocol, a DeFi protocol that gets a parachain slot, you can take your Bitcoin, plug it into ChainX. ChainX gives you a wrapped version of your Bitcoin, and you can go into some DeFi protocol within Polkadot and stake it, yield farm it, loan it out, borrow against it, do whatever you want in DeFi. And something like ChainX is what will allow Bitcoin liquidity to move into the Polkadot ecosystem. High staking, low supply. There's a lot of reasons why I like ChainX. ChainX is one of the there's dozens, but it's one of the ones that just pops out off by heart.
There we go. I know at one point you made me put a little sum of money in Chainx. I don't even know where it's at right now. I really need to.
42% APY on staking.
Bro, it's probably at what, like $1.5 billion right now?
At least $1 billion by now. You've been staking what, 2 months?
I gotta check it out.
Probably
more. What do you mean? It's been like 5-6 months.
Has
man.
it?
Oh yeah.
Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
Bro, time flies.
Yeah.
Time flies.
The time does fly, and look, man, this live stream flew like it's nothing. It's at 56 minutes right now. So maybe we can take a look at the chart as well. If you, again, maybe just to wrap up the what's happening with the price action.
Yeah.
But what else do you have right now?
Well, there is one more thing I kind of want to show you guys, something that I think is pretty significant that I'd like to talk about before we wrap up here. This is a project that once the market settles down, once Bitcoin settles down, this is something I'm definitely considering buying the dip on. And the only reason why I haven't pulled the trigger yet is Bitcoin is concerning, making lower lows, thus making the possibility of further bearish continuation more likely. So I'm waiting out for some bullish divergence to buy back into this project. And so this project that I'm talking about is oh, do I have it? I do have it. It's right here. It's called Hawthorne Network. So feel free to jump in at any point here, man. But just to maybe briefly explain.
No, I know you brought this up yesterday and today, and I still haven't really had the chance. And I'm pretty sure, by the sounds of it, man, it looks pretty interesting.
It is very interesting. So, in terms of return on investment, crypto is driven by hype and speculation, right? And so this project doesn't really have a lot of hype, not a lot of great marketing. So who knows if it'll pump? But I do think this is the kind of project that could maybe pump this cycle. But I think this is the kind of project that could be like the next Solana. What's the next cycle Solana? And I think maybe something like Hawthorne is potentially interesting. Because the thing about Hawthorne is it's a smart contract blockchain, very similar to Ethereum, Cardano, but it's not trying to compete with Ethereum and Cardano. Because the thing that's unique about Hawthorne is they're trying to go for mass adoption with tokenization and smart contracts. Ethereum, Cardano, they have very complex smart contracts. You got to learn a lot of coding. You got to really understand. It gives you a lot of possibilities, but it's very complex. The whole thing with Hawthorne in their use case and the way they separate themselves from something like Ethereum or one of these other smart contract blockchain protocols is they want to make it extremely easy to create your own cryptocurrency and extremely easy to create your own smart contract. The way I listened to one of their talks they gave at a 2019 event, and the way they described it is, guys, if you look at something like YouTube or TikTok or Instagram, it's so easy to make a YouTube video, make an Instagram post, make a TikTok post. That's how easy Hathor wants to make it to create a cryptocurrency and create a smart contract. So it's extremely easy and straightforward. And with a few clicks of a button, you can create your own cryptocurrency running on Hathor with your own supply, that kind of thing. And what's very interesting with Hathor specifically right now is Q3 this quarter, they're going to be rolling out further functionality with their smart contracts. Hathor calls them nano contracts. So instead of having this super complicated coding language with all these possibilities, but it's closed off to most people, Hathor has what's called nano contracts with very small kind of functionality. And so, it has a bullish catalyst, more functionality to their smart contracts. And again, I think this thing's interesting if you think everything will one day become tokenized. If you think there's some use case behind mass and ease tokenization, then Hathor is definitely something very interesting. Guys, it's not financial advice. The market's very skeptical. I think this is just one project that's interesting enough to talk to you guys. I'm still doing more research myself. Again, I still haven't bought in myself. This is just something I'm starting to learn about, something that I thought was interesting enough to share with you guys. And this project is kind of out there. And again, even
this probably is, sorry to cut you off. I feel like even this kind of thing would probably help even small businesses that not those big corporations to actually have their own, I guess, reward system, their own crypto or their own whatever their systems are actually being ran on, to have their own token and have it being utilized in the space too. So man, this could actually be something. This is actually interesting.
Imagine if you're
we always talk about random low caps and big. This is actually very interesting. I like it.
The whole thing about these guys is that they want to make it super easy to create your own cryptocurrency with a few clicks of a button and create a very simple smart contract, give it a bit of functionality. Like, man, I could see a mom and pop shop creating their own cryptocurrency through Hathor and using it as like rewards. Like, instead of coupons, if you shop here, you'll get the our store's cryptocurrency, and you get discounts based off our products and whatever use case you can come up with creating native cryptocurrency for whatever ecosystem, whether it's like us, even as us, like quote unquote influencers. I mean, we could even use Hathor to kind of like airdrop to our Discord members, and then they use that for tips on the live. Something, whatever you can think of, where you can come up with a rationale for tokenization. Something like Hathor. The whole thing about this is not super complicated and in depth like Ethereum, Cardano. They're not trying to compete with them. They're just going for super ease of like tokenization. And so they're doing some very interesting NFT stuff as well. So again, if they make it super easy and super cheap to create NFTs and NFT stores, very interesting project. I mean, again, not the best marketing. So in crypto, things with good marketing pump. So, but I think something like Hathor has a good chance of maybe being next cycle Solana or something like that.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. Pretty interesting stuff. So what do you guys think, man? What do you guys think of this project? Oh my God, my laptop's about to die off.
Oh, okay. Should we wrap up?
Yeah, I see, man. Yeah, maybe we could wrap up here soon. I see some people here randomly talking about What are you guys talking about? Pirate Chain. Everyone's talking about Pirate Chain in the chats and going back and forth. Eli hit him with a comeback, and then Ice-T got on the mix. Ice-T, One Love. Then they're talking about some cars and what are you guys on about? I've been holding since 2017, so I just don't care about my balance, just buying whatever and keep mining Bitcoin.
And this guy's probably going to succeed over the long term.
Yeah, I guess he is, but that's the thing, that's the leverage you get when you're early. These dips, there's like, I don't really care much. I'm still up 70%, 75%. Even with this huge dip, a lot of people are actually in this since it's been a while, man. But yeah, maybe we can wrap up with Bitcoin a bit, see what Bitcoin is doing, just to give people. There's like 200 some people and watching right now. Thank you guys if you're watching all the way through the end here. If you like the stream so far, make sure you press the like button. Thank you for all the donations as well. But yeah, man, what do you think here? What do you want to do? I feel like Bitcoin is 4 hours definitely starting to pick up some momentum to the upside, man.
Yeah, man. So we'll go to your chart if you have something to say there. Also, I would just add, guys, thank you all so very much for being here. If you like us and you want to support us, like, subscribe, comment, share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. 'Cause guys, bull market or bear market, we're here to stay. We're going to be sharing with you guys all the latest and greatest when it comes to news and technical analysis, breakouts, and whatever we find interesting. So, folks, smash that like button, hit that bell icon to be notified of new uploads.
100%. So,
You'll get it? Well,
so
I'll go to your screen.
yeah, sure. Let's just, if you can just switch real quick. But so, guys, this is, Bitcoin right now, currently sitting 32,803. I'm looking at the 4 hour, nice medium between all these different time frames. The big drop came yesterday at these levels. We're talking about it for a bit, and we dropped out of. As soon as we dropped out of the support, we continued to just a downtrend, and right now we just bounced off the 31k. So we haven't had any kind of close right at these prices. So if I maybe take off all these scribbles I got, overall, we haven't really had a closing price that's actually closer to the 30k. You can see here how even on the 4 hour chart, when we dumped on May 19th, touching the literally, what was the low here? The low was
30,000.
exactly at the 30,000. Like if you look here, guys, this is open, high, low, close, and current price. You'll see here that the lowest this thing got was the 30k.00. So it's telling you that there's a lot of buy orders ready to go at the 30k or maybe 29,999. So in my opinion, overall, yes, we did break below this. If we're looking even at the daily chart, which I don't want to switch to because trading has been giving me such a hard time, so I don't want to lose this. But overall, right now the 4 hour is starting to show some, buying momentum. So we still haven't really got back up to retest this guy. I think a retest back up to this support, to confirm that now it's going to be resistance as granted. So I do suspect some sort of movement upwards back to these higher levels. Maybe right now you can see how as soon as you drop below, you start looking at the previous lows that this got to and expect the support to be there, and you'll find the most support to be at the lowest level off of this wedge. So right now you'll see as soon as we dropped, even if I take this off here, you'll see that we actually dropped exactly to find that support at this level right here. So that's what triggered this, a bit of a reversal, a bit of a, I guess, relief. It's not even a pump, it's just something where you can tell that there's some buy orders at this level. But ultimately, in our opinion, obviously the 30k is the next stop. And even if you're looking at the daily chart, see, as soon as I switch to the daily, oh, perfect. You can see here that forget about this past 3 days. Prior to this, the main level we're taking a look at, which goes in tandem with this breakout over here that we had, was somewhere closer to the, what do we have here? Yeah, that's the 34,680. And you can see here how as soon as we broke out, we went actually crazy and a lot of buyers came in. We've been stuck in this pattern over here since the beginning of January all the way to the end of it. Elon came in, good note, we're all friends. Now we all hate him, I guess, but broke out and pushed it up. So this is a very significant level. And you can see here, as soon as we dropped, you can see how there's a lot of accumulation at this specific level. So at that level, at the breakout where we had, and you can see that here from the 34,600 all the way down to the 30 was on the daily chart. We didn't have any closing price. So you see a lot of wicks that here happened, but not a lot of closing. So you can see just from this that there was a lot of accumulation that would happen. And even with this right now, I expect a lot more as well, accumulation to happen again. And looks like the 30k is that next stop. So we need to see if the 30k will hold. But even in the meantime, on a very short term, maybe today, tomorrow, the day after, I do expect, in my opinion, man, even yesterday's price action, if we zoom in a bit, the daily, the day started 3 hours ago, this candle. So this previous candle from yesterday, overall, we did pierce all the way back down to the 31,000, exactly the 31,000. The lowest point we got, if you look again here at the top, is exactly the 31,000.00. So it's too specific, man, too specific to the point, to the sense. So that's what we're seeing. I'm more comfortable calling a support at the 30K a lot more than these levels. Number one, because I see the accumulation that happened here. Number two is because, you know, you're more likely to find the support or more stronger support at these rounded up even, you know, tens, right? And 30K is that. Coupled with the fact that we had some sort of accumulation visibly right here, I can easily say that, yeah, we will have more, better, stronger support at the 30K as opposed to midway through the 30s. So we want to see it. That's exactly where this was before as well. That was the floor that we were stuck in, and yeah, we got to expect some sort of buying to come in at the 30K, but we want to see if that actually does hold or no. So we got to keep that in mind as well, guys. But yeah, man, I think this is it right now. This is what we, for the short term, I think 30K is what we should all be paying attention to.
Yes, no, absolutely, guys. We're still putting in higher lows. We get worried when we put in lower lows because when it comes to trading investing, there's no need to talk about feelings, intuitions, and oh, what's my gut feeling? No. Look at the price action. The price is everything. The price will tell you what's more and less likely. And if we put in lower lows, that makes it more likely the downtrend will continue. But as long as we keep putting in higher lows, there is still some hope. If we break below 30K again, that is very, very no bueno. We do not want to see a lower low. At that point, it would look like a breakdown from macro head and shoulders. And the downside potential, if we make a lower low below 30K, is quite substantial. So I'm using 30K as my inflection point, calling bull market or bear market. As long as we're above 30K, there's some hope that we could still be in a bull market. If we start to make a lower low below 30K, it starts to look a lot like a bear market. So folks, watch out for confirmation. Watch out for these live streams, because if we make a significant move, we're going to be talking about it and what we think. So folks, like, subscribe, comment, share, and smash that like button, smash that bell icon to be notified of new uploads. As last time we dumped, we went live. If we make a new lower low, hopefully we'll go live as well. And also, I had oh yeah, one thing I wanted to mention as well, which is, guys, these daily candles. We had a daily candle closing above. Hold on, Messin dropped off. He's calling me back.
Hey, man, my laptop turned. I just completely
No
forgot
worries.
that I
We're-
need to plug it in.
All good, all good. We're still live here, so maybe I could
Yes.
just wrap up in. Or are you still?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
then
you
I'll call
just
you
wrap
back.
it up. I'm just gonna go pass out, guys. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. Make sure you like the stream. Give this guy a hard time, guys. Give him a hard time while I'm gone. So everyone have a great night. Make sure you stay tuned for tomorrow's live stream. And yeah, man, I'll hit you up tomorrow.
All right, man. All right, sounds good. Take it easy, bud.
All right, peace.
Okay. And that was Messin. His laptop died, so he has now left us. But folks, look, 33,300 key inflection point. This daily candle body reacted off it, and again, historically, very price reactive zone with daily candles, especially when we look at the weekly. Had 1, 2, 3, 4 weekly candles react off 33,300, and if we go back to the monthly, 2 monthly candles reacting off 33,000, from about 33,000 to about 33,300. So we need to hold above that if we want to start looking bullish. So if we can get back up this green line here, then Bitcoin will start to look more healthy. If we can get above this line, as long as we stay below this green line here, Bitcoin looks unhealthy, and the potential for further downtrending is 100% real. Ultimately, guys, just understand we move in cycles, and the people who've been the most successful in cryptocurrency are the people who buy solid projects, not shit projects like SafeMoon and Shiba, scams that could be gone next year, but solid projects, such as Ethereum, in my humble opinion. People who bought Ethereum when it crashed and burned at its lowest in the bear market and held it forever are the people who are crypto millionaires and billionaires of today. So have a long-term mindset and just wait for confirmation. Don't jump to conclusions. Wait for confirmation and make rational planned decisions with your trading and investing based off logic and evidence and not your emotions. Guys, I'm gonna wrap it up here. It's late on our end. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Until next time, take care.